You know, when we look at plants, it's so easy to just see them as these passive, beautiful decorations. But what if I told you that beneath that quiet surface, there's a high-stakes battle for survival going on? Well, in this deep dive, we're going to uncover that secret world, the incredible arsenal and the brilliant strategies that plants use to fight back.
And that really is the big question, isn't it? I mean, think about it. When danger shows up, whether it's a hungry bug or a blazing sun, a plant is literally rooted to the spot. It can't run, it can't hide. So what does it do? How does it survive? Well, the answer is way more active and, frankly, more genius than you might think.
Just try to imagine being a stationary target in a world that's, well, pretty dangerous. You're constantly getting bombarded by pests that want you for lunch, invisible germs trying to invade, and just the raw power of the environment, scorching heat, freezing cold. That's the day-to-day reality for a plant. But here's the brilliant twist in the story. Plants are not victims. They don't just sit there and take it. Instead of running, they fight. Not with teeth or claws, but with chemistry. They are absolute master chemists, constantly cooking up this powerful arsenal of compounds to defend themselves. So let's step inside this amazing chemical weapons factory. The weapons that a plant makes are called secondary metabolites. Now, you have your primary metabolites, which are for the basic stuff, growing taller, making leaves. But these secondary ones, they have one job and one job only: survival. And we're not talking about random chemicals here. These are the plant's way of interacting with the world. Think about it. The amazing smell of a rose, the spicy kick of a chili pepper, the bitter taste of coffee beans. Those are all a form of communication. They can be an invitation, a warning, or sometimes an outright poison. This whole arsenal is super organized, and it's broken down into 3 main classes. First up, you've got terpenes. Think of the menthol and mint, which are fantastic insect repellents. Then you have phenols, like the tannins that make your tea a little bitter. Those can mess with an animal's digestion or even act like sunscreen for the plant. And finally, you've got the heavy hitters, nitrogenous compounds. These are often potent toxins. Yeah, just think about that for a second. The caffeine that gets you going in the morning actually evolved as a weapon. For us, it's a great pick-me-up. But for an insect that tries to munch on a coffee plant, that same exact chemical is a powerful neurotoxin. It's poison, designed to paralyze it right on the spot. But the fight isn't just against other living things. Plants also have to battle the environment itself, what scientists call abiotic stress, so non-living things like drought or extreme heat. And their responses here are just as clever. And what's amazing is how specific their responses are. So on the left, let's say there's a drought. The plant's big problem is losing water. So what does it do? It slams its pores, the stomata, shut to lock in all that precious moisture. But on the right, if it gets too hot, the danger is totally different. Its proteins might literally start to unravel. So it deploys these special heat shock proteins that act like little bodyguards, shielding all the important stuff inside its cells. Now, in that drought scenario, the real hero is a hormone called abscisic acid, or just ABA. The easiest way to think about it is as the plant's big red panic button. When water levels get dangerously low, ABA floods the system, sending out this crystal-clear chemical message: emergency, batten down the hatches, conserve water now. Okay, so we've covered the built-in chemical arsenal and the emergency plans for the environment. So now, let's dive into how a plant actively fights back when it's under attack from a living invader, what we call biotic stress. Turns out, plants have this really sophisticated 3-step alarm system. First is recognition. The plant actually figures out what specifically is attacking it. Step 2 is signaling. It sounds the alarm by releasing these specific chemical hormones. And finally, step 3, activation. Those hormones trigger a defense that's tailor-made for that exact threat. And here's where it gets even cooler. It's not just one alarm for everything. The plant has different alarms for different problems. If an insect starts munching on a leaf, it releases jasmonic acid. But if it's a fungus or a virus, it sends out salicylic acid. This lets the plant use the right weapon for the right fight every single time. This all leads us to what is, honestly, probably the most incredible plant defense of all. It's not just a local thing, it's a whole plant-wide immune network. It's called systemic acquired resistance, or SAR for short. This is, and I'm not exaggerating, basically a plant vaccine. When one leaf gets infected by, say, a virus, it sends out a chemical warning signal to every other part of the plant.
In response, the entire plant kicks its defenses into high gear, creating this long-lasting heightened state of alert. The plant actually learns from a small local attack to build immunity and protect its whole body in the future. It's just incredible. So let's just pull this all together for a second. The big takeaway from this deep dive is that plants are anything but passive. They're active, strategic survivors. They're running these complex chemical factories to build custom weapons. They've got real-time emergency protocols for when the environment turns nasty. And, maybe most amazing of all, they can learn from an attack to build system-wide immunity. So we've just uncovered this hidden world of chemical warfare, of advanced signaling, of immune memory that's happening silently all around us every single day. It kind of makes you wonder, right? If a plant can learn, remember, and defend itself with this much sophistication, what other powerful strategies for survival are we just beginning to understand from the green world around us?